starting actually with that news that came out about good old Avengers. Finally. Now, I have a link here that should be pretty useful from one of the greatest Twitter accounts of all time, Culture Crave, everyone's favorite.
Yes, Culture Crave.
Basically, just reliable information crave is what they should call themselves.
I've seen it noted that there are very few women on that cast.
Good. What? Yeah, that's crazy that that's happened.
It is kind of like, oh yeah, it's like 5. It's not a lot.
All right.
Not many.
Let's do this properly, okay? So, for those out there who have no idea what's happening, the good old Marvel did this big old stream where they were like, oh my god, big announcements coming, you're going to be terrified. And so people tuned in, and it was chairs. Lots and lots of chairs, but they had names on these
Lots
chairs.
of chairs. Empty chairs.
Names.
Which is interesting imagery for Disney to use for a live stream.
Yes.
Like just a long stream of empty chairs.
They had a lot of names on them, names that you're probably not going to mistake in terms of what characters they're likely going to be playing, considering everything that's been happening. And a whole bunch of people got confirmed. And this is essentially the list, including reported as elements, which I think is a thing, but hey. The first thing that struck me about this big old set of chairs was the fact that there was loads of shit missing. So, the reasonable interpretation would just be that it's just not people that they've got fully confirmed yet, because someone like Chris Pratt is definitely going to be in this movie. Just, he didn't turn up.
It'd be strange if he wasn't.
And so that means there's probably a bunch of other people. You may even probably expect someone like fucking I was about to say Daredevil, Deadpool, and Wolverine. That's who would be in this.
I was going to say Daredevil might be.
Daredevil might be.
Not likely. Well, they're shooting the 2nd season right now, so.
Yeah, but they only need to get him in for one day to jump in and go like, oogly boogly, I'm Daredevil. That's
oh boy, I'm going to catch a brick.
I've been holding out hope that if there are more names to be added, that they will come from films that I will remember a bit more than I remember most of these ones.
Well,
that was my overall takeaway of this is, for fuck's sake, I've actually got to go back and rewatch Ant-Man and the Wasp with the ghost person in it. I don't remember anything about that one.
It is a bit
so it'll be like watching it for the first time. That's exciting.
That's one way of putting it.
The whole Thunderbolts team is here. It's like, wow.
Missing someone, though, isn't it? It's missing a precious character.
There is the character who's definitely surviving that film?
Everyone's favorite character, I should say.
Taskmaster.
I just have too many favorites to mention. Taskmaster's at the top of my favorites list.
Yeah. Most people's. But, I don't know, I guess we can have a little look at these then. So, the crazy confirmation, Robert Downey Jr. will be in it. I just, wow, after everything. I thought the Doctor Doom thing was a meme, but there we are. He's coming in. Chris Hemsworth I was actually a little bit surprised by, because I thought the last word on him was that he was kind of like not happy playing Thor anymore.
Yeah, he's like, y'all keep ruining Thor. Quit.
Yeah,
a lot of money. Probably.
Didn't he say that
Thor can have funny moments, but he's a serious character? Damn it!
That was his
treating
point,
me like I'm just a joke.
If I'm coming back to play the character, it has to be the character in a story as opposed to just a series of jokes. Because that's
just a gag delivery device.
We went a bit
legs.
too far in a few places in Love and Thunder, and it's I want to be a serious actor again.
It would be nice, and Tom Hiddleston to probably die for the 4th time or whatever.
That'll be confusing for people who didn't watch Loki. They just be like, what?
It's confusing for people who did watch Loki. He is the god of time and stories, but he's also going to just be here, I guess.
He created Idrisil.
Why not?
He doesn't have better things to do.
Remember, guys, for those of you who don't remember, in Loki Season 2, Loki, physically grabbed all the timelines and made it into his cloak, and then sat on a chair, and that saved the multiverse.
Yeah, and has actually been used to argue why certain things happen that make no sense that he's doing.
I find it weird that people say, Loki Season 2 is good, and those directors who are directing the new episodes of Daredevil, you can expect that they'll be good too. It's like, okay. Alright. Whatever you say.
Paul Rudd as the famous Ant-Man.
That's surprising.
An easy one, yeah.
That's not surprising to me, yeah.
Still wouldn't be surprised if they filmed him in front of a green screen, just saying a bunch of jokes, and then they're like, "Yeah, we'll fit it in at some point." Thanks, Paul.
Well, who knows what this script is going to be, right? Like, I mean, what the fuck is this script?
I couldn't
gonna
fucking
be?
imagine having to write whatever the hell this is supposed to be to bring all this in. So,
and they're not even shooting
Like,
back to back
Ant-Man's-
like last time.
He's the particularly difficult one as well, because if he has any major role in the film and they do try to account for what he's been up to recently, like his account of what he was up to recently was an aborted timeline with an aborted villain that he was supposed to be warning the world was coming to kill everybody.
no, man, it's fine now. That was just a bullshit
Everything's
line, and
fine.
that can got sucked down into wherever land, forever dead. It's all fine. Besides, they covered it in What If. It was Captain Carter
okay,
wiped
that's
out the
fine then.
Kangs, so yeah, we're all good.
I feel like this casting announcement is basically its own episode of What If. Like, what if we got
What?
Robert
Yes.
Downey Jr. to come back and play Doomsday? Ooh, that would never happen. Isn't that kooky and crazy?
Doomsday, right?
No,
that's a
actually, we need
completely
your money,
different
please,
character.
dear God.
A beloved DC character, Doomsday. You're talking about Doctor Doom. Completely different guys. One's a doctor.
Oh, Doc, you're right. One has a doctorate. He went to school, and I don't want to
Exactly.
take
That
that
is
away
funny
from him.
That is funny that an Avengers movie is named after a DC villain. Like, no, it's Doomsday is a generic term.
Yeah,
It's like,
Doomsday. They can't have
but
Doomsday.
Yeah, Doomsday is
It is
There's
a
a
generic
Skrillex
term.
song.
But it is the name of the villain who killed Superman. So, maybe that's their thinking is like, yeah, we're gonna kill that DC universe with this amazing film.
Ooh. Well, next up, possibly the most surprising and interesting, Simu Liu will be returning as
Yeah, I'm
Shang-Chi.
shocked, really. That is really shocking.
It is a little bit because he's so crap and nobody cares. But it's like, all right.
Well, I was gonna say it's not shocking because I figured he'd just do it. Like, what else are you doing, really?
Well, so that's the interesting part because you could say the same for a lot of characters who've not shown up yet and are starting to make you wonder, about whether or not they will. Because, we can get to them whenever we want. One being
Thanos.
No, I don't know. Thanos gonna be here, but I was talking more so about our beloved Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. You'd have thought she'd be here.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, you would,
Yeah.
just because of her
Yeah.
power level and prominence and how much they want her to be
Yeah.
here, but how
I know
non-viable
the
she
film
seems to
failed.
be.
I know the film failed, but you figure they just get everybody, which
Which
almost
is
feels
interesting.
Like the first. Yeah.
If you consider, obviously, we're not going to be talking about it this week, but we would have talked about some Kamala Khan stuff because of the Daredevil episode, which makes you wonder. Well, they seem to be like, why is this an oddly prominent part of this episode of a Daredevil show, but they're not bringing back Captain Marvel? Do they think Miss
And they're not
Marvel is a
bringing
more
back Miss
viable
Marvel either.
superhero?
I mean,
Well,
well, she ain't on the list.
if the logic should
I
be,
guess,
this
but-
is not a decider of who isn't coming, just a decider who hasn't signed. It's like you.
Yeah.
The thing about a Chris Pratt is that they got to get him. That makes the most sense. They're probably negotiating or something like that. But with Captain Marvel, it's like, do you think they're considering not having her? Maybe.
Well,
don't
I
know.
think that has to start getting entertained for a considerable number of omissions on this list.
Well,
okay, on this list.
if someone's asking
Like,
whether
Plus,
they've
there's
got,
only so many movies. There's only so much that they're actually able to do in terms of projects, anyway.
yeah, Tatiana Maslany just do you think they're in negotiations? It's like, I actually think that's more likely they're just like, Yeah. But then she was in the concept art.
I mean,
So
what
who knows?
about Kate Bishop?
Didn't
Where's
they
she?
deny that the concept? Well, obviously they would have denied that the concept art was real, but I think they said that it's all fake and it's not ours, and none of that is true and accurate. So I don't know how much of a guide that is. I mean, it
From
might
what
well
I
be true and accurate, and they're just
The
lying.
nature of concept
Yeah,
art,
from what I
too.
understand, it's all but confirmed to be 100% accurate.
Oh,
Leaks, stolen, whatever have you. But the thing is, you don't know that it could be concepts for some things that they don't intend to do. That's always possible. It's different ideas and stuff. Emilia Clarke's Gaia, will she be? It's no, almost certainly no.
No way.
No one
No
likes
way.
her.
It's not even that
people like
necessarily.
her.
There's a lot of different reasons, but if there was a little scale, it feels like she's on the lower end, while Brie Larson's
the
probably at the
Eternals.
highest end of maybe not going to be doing it.
The Eternals aren't here either.
Yeah, I would assume they're not coming.
I guess that's what I'm curious about though, is like where are the characters from the projects that were seemingly successful? Like where is Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop? Why isn't she part of this?
What about Moon Knight? What about Girl Moon
Yeah,
Knight?
Moon Knight. Moon Knight was meant to be
her
successful,
name?
so where's he?
The Scarlet Scarab,
Scarab?
I think.
Yeah. Something.
Scarlet Scarab.
Which
As
everyone in
opposed to
chat
the
will
Scarlet
know.
Witch.
Well, yes, lots of people in chat. See, some people said who, and it's like, haha, very funny. You're joking, of course. You know all these characters
Yeah,
back to
remember,
front.
Moon Knight was very successful,
Hmm.
and everybody liked it. So why? Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Well,
So-
for the young Avengers stuff, so like Kate Bishop and Kamala Khan, is that even going to be a movie, or have they sort of earmarked that just for a Disney Plus thing? Because they got rid of one of those other characters who was allegedly going to appear in the last Captain America film. Was is it Amadeus Cho, who I think is one of the young Avengers?
Oh,
Who
yeah.
was in like a draft for it, and then they cut him out, and so that they seem to be kind of trying to keep them away, and that usually means either they are really embarrassed by them and they want to get rid of them, which is the correct thing to do, or more likely they just haven't decided, but they might keep them separate for like a streaming show or something.
Yeah, that seems like I guess that's the thing is like, yeah, I mean, none of those characters are on this list, so
Well, so the next
What
set
does that
makes some
mean?
sense. We've got the Fantastic Four just in
Yeah.
full, which they probably
Cool.
signed for this while signing for Fantastic Four. I'm guessing that's maybe why they're
I
easy
think
to sort.
I'm pretty sure it was basically said as soon as like they were talking about these movies that they were going to be in them, like that's not.
Well, there's that, and then there's the fact that this is the movie that's going to set up the Avengers film, right? Fantastic Four is going to
Well,
end with Doom.
There's nothing between Fantastic Four and this, as far as I'm aware. That's it. It's the only movie, so I presume
We're going to have
so.
the
the
Doom
thing is
Thanos
I-
scene at the end. It's gonna be great.
But I mean, is that set up? Like,
Hell
you know
yeah,
what I mean? It's
dude.
like, it's just funny because the original Avengers films don't rely that significantly on what happens
You think-
before, but like they are essentially meant to be a culmination of prior events, as reflected in Avengers being all about the Tesseract.
Do you think they'll cut to Doom like almost randomly at the end, as in like we have no concept of him prior, and it's him in the full outfit and stuff, and then he takes the mask off, and the camera slowly like moves up to reveal it's Robert Downey Jr. with like a scar or something, just to be like, oh my god, even though we're all gonna be like, oh yeah, I guess the public don't know about it, so you're gonna treat it as though it's like shocking
I mean,
news.
I feel like the public does know. Weren't they boasting about how many people watched this live stream? So
They
like, I don't
were.
even- you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know that it's that much of a secret to anybody. Least of all the people who would be most inclined to sit through all of the credits to watch an end credits scene.
Well, that's why I
know?
just that's why I figure that they might just do it anyway, because it's such a slop approach. Like, there's no interest in doing anything other than being like, look, it's him, woo, and do
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Then we got Lewis Pullman, who is Sentry in good old Thunderbolts.
So I
correct?
I guess he's not going to die then.
Not only not going to die, but he's going to present in Doomsday, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
alright.
Well, this is where
Yeah,
it starts
alright.
getting weird. We got Ian McKellen as Magneto will be in this film. It's like, so all we really
This
got
is
for
a lot
this
of characters.
is what's her name? Monica Rambeau, isn't it?
Monica.
He
Yeah.
entered a different dimension where she bumped into Kelsey Grammer's Beast and an alternate version of him, Mum, as a binary. Is that right?
That's the one, yeah.
So, are we?
So,
Is that what
what-
they're doing? Like, she'll be in this X-Men universe, and they'll
So
get
this
dragged
is-
in from there.
This is my guess. Nah, I don't think so. Do you really want to have like the sort of the reason why the X-Men are in there be related to a Marvel's plot beat? Like, it could just be that she goes to some universe that doesn't matter, and then all these X-Men come from like an actual,
So-
like the real X-Men universe. You know what I mean?
As much as I agree with you, they can just say she did come from the real X-Men universe, and Binary's just some new person, whatever, in there.
Well, so
And remember, they
okay,
did
well,
have a
now
huge plot
I
of
have-
Captain America come from the Eternals. So
I have another question. where in the time, like Days of Future Past, the revised timeline, or what? Where are they going to be coming from?
I don't think they're going to answer that.
I don't think they will either, because
4
that
seconds
would be...
after they show up, nobody will care who
Someone
actually wants to see them anyway.
I saw a quote tweet that was saying, "I can't wait to watch Patrick Stewart's Professor X die for the 4th time." It's like,
Yeah, probably.
it's so
Wouldn't be
stupid at this
surprising.
point. So yeah, it's literally the work that's going to go into this is going to be so limited. It's just listen. They're the actors you like playing the characters you like. Don't fuss over dimension. They don't have a character say this. Like don't think about the timelines, dimensions. It's all fucking confusing. Who
Back
knows?
to the
Yeah.
Future is bullshit. Yeah, Back to the
Yeah.
Future's dumb, not like our really smart movie.
It'll be like Looper. Don't think about it.
Yeah, doesn't
Some
matter.
fucking lame joke about because how do you write it? You just don't. Like it's not writable. You pluck them from
Who
when
is writing
exactly?
this? Who is writing this?
Isn't it Marcus and McFeely, the same guys
Oh,
behind?
right, okay.
I think so.
The
anyway.
same guys behind the Electric State.
Well, I was going to say Endgame, which
Yeah,
this is not. This is harder than Endgame to solve. This whatever the hell is
Yeah.
going on here.
well, yeah, because Endgame was a follow-up to a relatively coherent Avengers film. This is a follow-up to the worst string of
Relatively
movies in the history of cinema. Yeah,
That's the
true.
kindest thing that you could ever say about a Marvel movie is that
They also
Relatively
framed it specifically in terms of,
relatively
like,
coherent.
Endgame was the finishing movie, so like all of the characters' reasons for being there were established, and they
Yeah.
had to try and find a way of cramming them into the story that capped off that entire saga. This is the movie that they are phrasing as the beginning movie, so they have to invent all of the reasons for all of these people to be here, as opposed to relying on the good work that other people have done before, which is going to be very messy. If, as mentioned, they even bother trying, rather than just, hey, come over here and let's have a fight. That's what the audience wants to see.
which,
Bucky,
I mean, that's probably what. Yeah,
pretty straightforward.
Senator.
Fine, whatever. Yes, Senator
Senator
Bucky
or
will be back.
Congressman Bucky. yeah.
Congressman Bucky.
Kelsey Grammer's CGI beast.
Well, yeah, I guess he doesn't have to show up on set too
Yeah.
often then.
James Marsden's Cyclops. Woohoo!
Mhm.
I suppose. it's very
I was
just like
this-
what?
As I was looking through this list, I legitimately had to think for a moment and be like, James Marsden. And then I remembered.
Well, yeah,
right.
Cyclops got a bit neglected by those X-Men films.
Best punctuated by the third one where they just fucking kill him. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, okay, jeez. Channing Tatum gonna be coming
Yeah,
back.
he's about to make a name for himself here.
I guess he did make a
Again.
name for himself. Oh,
He
Yeah,
certainly
I guess,
will do
I
that
guess
in
they
the
asked
future.
him and he said, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll make
a name for myself. Yeah. I'd love to make a name for myself.
yeah. So for those who don't remember, he was in Deadpool and Wolverine, being Gambit, and he's gonna be Gambit again, I guess. Maybe it is an alternate X-Men universe where he's a part of the team, or he joined the team after those movies. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna say. Are they gonna bother with any of that? Probably not. Rebecca Romaine as Mystique, who lost her
Why not
powers.
Jennifer
post-
Lawrence?
Oh, she doesn't give a fuck. she doesn't like this shit. She lost her powers at the end of X3, but they implied that
But the timeline.
well, it doesn't matter because the injections wear off, I think, right? Magneto.
Yeah, but the problem is that in
That's the
that
chess scene
timeline,
at the end.
that timeline leads to Days of Future Past, though, which that's what I'm talking about. It's like, so which is it then? Where are we pulling from?
Listen, it's all the stuff you remember, unless it gets in the way. Then it's also not. So
I see.
I don't exactly know what their plan is with her. What do they want to do with her exactly? But sure, she's in it too. Professor X, of course, Patrick Stewart, who very fucking awkwardly appeared in MOM, and that was a huge mistake. And I guess it's whatever. He's coming back again. And Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler is like, okay.
But of course, we've now reached the end of the list, which calls attention to the obvious omissions.
We've got a lot of X-Men who are not
X-Men.
here, but I don't know if you want to do that first, because I was just going to say, Dude, this cast is fucking huge, and we're not even.
It's huge.
Well,
How
huge,
long is this
like-
movie supposed to be?
But I guess I'm
3
almost
hours.
struck by like I'm struck by it's big, but like there's a lot of people who aren't here.
It
you
is.
know?
It is big but short. I guess.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Because I mean, whatever, Nightcrawler's gonna be in it. He'll probably be fully CG as well. Why not? Everybody who's got blue skin is gonna be CG because they ain't doing that shit
There's
no more.
no way that they're going to be interested in spending like 5-6 hours.
Especially if
on
they got a fucking
makeup.
1 minute cameo where they go hello and then do their
Yeah.
power and then walk off.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're missing. I'd say the most notable. Well, there's a lot of most
Yeah.
notables. I guess the most
There's-
notable
there-
is Hugh Jackman's
Wolverine. Yeah,
but
Hugh
he's.
Jackman.
I think he's to come. There's no way that they wouldn't have him.
Yep, they're
Halle
gonna cash in on
Berry
that.
as Storm. Where is
out,
she?
yeah.
Where's Iceman? What's it? Sean Ashmore?
That's him. Yeah. They got Pyro back for Deadpool and Wolverine, but they not got him here. I guess.
No,
why
I
not,
guess
right? Fucking kitchen sinks in you, so why not? Gene is not here.
Yeah.
None of
he's
the
not here.
genes. Neither, I guess I should say.
No. Well, yeah, because of course that's something worth pointing out. Is all the old X-Men crew, not the new X-Men crew.
Yeah, of course. It seems that that's what they've chosen. Because if they had mixed in some of them, that would have made it even more like, wait, what the fuck? Because
More confusing. Yeah.
there'll be a lot of names to add on.
And they were like, all right, we got to pick which nostalgia that we used to shun that we're going to have to leverage in order to make money, which, I don't know, is this not the clearest culmination of that? They are now relying on the Fox X-Men movies, which they
said
previously
goodbye
basically-
to in the last film, or one of the last films.
But then they were like, nah, not goodbye, actually.
No,
we need
wait a
to-
minute.
One last time, we promise.
For the
One last
last time, we need one more time for the last time.
We're going to do a send-off for you.
Actually stupid as fuck, but hey, whatever. So yeah,
I find
lots.
it funny when Days of Future Past was a send-off to the original X-Men.
Yes, it was. That was a way better one.
It's like Patrick Stewart. It can't
It was
really
better.
die truly.
No, it's funny to say that's like, well, no, this could be better. And Days of Future Past has got its problems. Like, nah. Like, it was an actual story.
We don't do those.
No, we don't.
So yeah,
Those were
lots
a relic of a bygone era.
lots of missing X-Men, even more potentially missing depending on what the fuck they do in timeline wise, and then a huge amount of the actual cast of this film you think would be here are missing. So who knows if, for all we know, this could be a third of the full cast that ends up happening in terms of like famous faces and characters.
I mean, if so, what's the point of even announcing it?
I don't know.
What's the point?
I guess to try and build up some momentum, but
Hype.
it doesn't seem like you need to yet. Maybe it was going to get leaked anyway, and they had to get a front of it or something.
But like, I don't know. Isn't that potentially of some benefit?
The deep thought is the algorithm AI has determined it has been this much time since the last viral Marvel post or event. Therefore, we need to have another one.
I guess I'm just thinking like No Way Home. I mean, it was like very much everybody at this, by the time the film was coming out, lots of people had essentially concluded that they were going to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and like I don't know that hurt them. If anything, it probably helped.
Yeah,
Because,
no,
like,
there's
even if
logic there
Even
for
if you
sure.
even speculating on it, actually seeing it is like, oh shit, that's like crazy. But now it isn't because it's been done before. Like seeing it's almost like the novelty of Avengers of seeing people from different movies like appear in one. It's like, okay. And then for like No Way Home, it's like, wait, but you're like from actual different like series. Like you're not even pretending to be in the same universe. Like, oh, that's crazy. Now that's it. That's the end. You're done. You've done it. It's not special anymore.
Letitia Wright as Shuri, as presumably Black Panther.
Okay, so they are bringing her back. All right.
Well,
okay.
maybe this will be
COVID was a long time ago. Okay.
Who knows if this could be like a baton pass or something like that happens here. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
well,
That
Right?
would be
Yeah, well,
hilarious if
Yeah.
she has to pass the baton right like as she's
In the first
getting
5
it.
minutes.
But if because
Well,
she
the
can't, she has to be kicked off a waterfall. That's how the Wakandans select their monarchs.
Hey, man,
so
they could change
within
this.
the first
It's
5
a
minutes.
That is one of
Okay.
many ways
Yeah.
to select a monarch. They could be stabbed, gutted, twisted, Like asphyxiated, beheaded.
Kill him like an orc.
Hey,
Crazy.
look,
And then
they're savage people. I don't know. That's what the movie said. I don't know, man.
so this was a bit
I
odd
just
to
watched the
me.
films.
Namor, he's coming back for this.
But then
Okay.
you thought like they
That's
were trying
insane
to
to me.
set something important up in because I don't remember a huge amount about Wakanda Forever, but it was like the two most important non-American factions in the MCU have decided to align with each other because they have the only two sources of vibranium on the entire planet. And like that was
doesn't
going
matter
to be a
'cause of
significant
which
world
doesn't matter
building thing.
anymore.
But yeah, adamantium's here now, so fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it doesn't even matter.
Well, what role is he gonna play exactly? Like, it just there's no fucking room. We can't be dealing with this.
It provides naval support to the rest
Cameo.
of the plot.
Naval support.
Oh, when you said naval support, I thought you meant because he doesn't wear a shirt, and then I was like, oh yeah, the Navy, the
Or that,
water.
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, no, fair enough.
So thank goodness we've got Falcon 2 is confirmed.
Oh yes, I
I
love
mean,
Falcon
character.
2.
Again, presumably they got these guys because they were signing for Cap 4, and they were just like, you signed for the two Avengers films
That's
too.
the thing that is kind of interesting about this list is when you look at it, there's a lot of a sort of recency.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
thinking.
not like recency bias in the sense of because it's not, but more like a lot of these are from characters who
Well-
have been in films that have released recently.
The bias doesn't extend to the Marvels, which is funny to
No,
me.
they well, yeah, but I'm talking even more recent than that. Like a lot of them are from movies that are releasing this year.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I'm saying. That
Thunderbolts.
bias
yeah,
did not extend
Captain
because
America.
there's no way.
Yeah,
Deadpool
That's
Wolverine was their most successful thing in forever in the MCU, so there's no way that would be like an all access pass for the characters in that. So I assume there's something going on there. But the Marvels, it crashed and burned. I could actually imagine that they're considering not having certain characters, but we'll see.
Which is strange because Brave New World crashed and burned as well. And here's Danny
but it's
Ramirez.
more recent.
That's
like,
true.
They might have had that locked in. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it was just too close to the actual thing. Because yes,
I guess maybe they signed up, but there's got to be that the Disney algorithm mathematical wizard man who's plugged into the math chair like the Matrix.
as
is
you
like,
can
no.
see, our Thunderbolts have been confirmed. That movie hasn't got a result yet, even though we know it's probably going to be. But yes, Captain Falcon and the Thunderbolts are all in, except for Taskmaster, who is probably going to die in Act 1, and no one's going to give a shit.
Yeah, it is funny though to think that like of all these characters who've come out of movies in the last 12 months, most of them, if not all of them, are so much like less recognizable than the X-Men characters from like the 1990s and the early 2000s. It's like all the work we've done in all the hundreds of MCU things we've made since Endgame to try and establish these characters, and they can't support an Avengers movie, so let's bring in the old people from the X-Men. And Patrick Stewart dribbling onto the screen will be more iconic than fucking whatever the new Captain America is.
Well, it is interesting to think about because in the case of you think about Yelena, it's like this would be like what her 4th appearance, and that doesn't do shit. In the case of good old Captain Falcon, it's like now we're up to what, like 7 or 8.
I think it was 17 or 18.
He's been in it for a decade at this point.
Well,
and it's like, yeah, but you haven't really done enough, have
And
you?
then compare that raw power to Ian McKellen as Magneto, and it's like, oh, he's
Yep.
way more
Yeah,
interesting than all
exactly.
of you.
And it is kind of funny to think as well with Fantastic Four. It's like you're really banking on it being good when it's probably not. So that's we'll see how that works out for you.
I'm super curious about Fantastic Four's box office.
I don't know, man. Like I wonder if Superman and Fantastic Four are both like not going to do as well as people expect.
a big
You know,
old
it's
test.
like, oh yeah, it will be.
And yes, the final name to be confirmed, I guess, is Winston Duke. Good old what's his name again?
M'Baku.
M'Baku, that's it. He's the one who's
He
yelling
might
a lot.
He might get to be the Black Panther going forward.
Well,
That
what
would
other
be
reason
funny.
would he have to be in the movie though? Like, I do
Yeah,
know
well,
nothing
to be
about
fair,
his
He'll
character.
be
be
standing
fair-
next to Letitia Wright for a little
Didn't-
bit for a scene.
Wasn't he in Infinity War and Endgame?
He was. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
even-
He did cameo.
I don't know
Where's-
why. Well, yeah, but that might be
where's
what this is.
Okoye? Where's Michonne?
Yeah, he I think that he'll probably end up standing next to Letitia Wright when she shows up for
And
a
he
little
says,
bit.
yeah.
He'll just sort of be there, and he'll say like one or two words, or maybe nod or grunt, and that'll be it. And
Where's
he'll collect his
Michonne?
paycheck.
Where
Well,
is
yeah,
she?
Who?
she's one of many women who've not made it to this list. Disgusting,
Yeah,
IMO.
because as you can see, it's what, 5?
Well, I guess notably
said on,
missing. There are still notably missing men, not including the reported part. You would say it's like no Chris Evans. Well, I mean that's not. A lot of people theorize he'd come back anyway, but Cumberbatch and Chris Pratt are the big ones of like, whoa.
Well, yeah, because with Tom Holland, I mean, I think Spider-Man 4 is like in production the same time as this, so that probably that could explain why he wouldn't be in it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
that might be
that's coming out a
the
couple of months
story,
later.
right? Like that'll be in
Yeah,
Spider-Man's
like
movie.
Spider-Man will show up at the end of the film and be like, "Guys, some crazy shit happened in Spider-Man, whatever. Go see it in theaters this July."
Spider-Man, here he comes.
Spider-Man, here he comes.
Spider-Man,
That's a good
and
reference.
he's back. Yeah. I like that. Haley Atwell as Captain Carter. It's like, man, they are obsessed with Captain Carter. It is
They are.
unhinged.
They
I do
really
not
want it to happen.
understand it.
For people who really wanted it to happen, what a crazy idea that we bring her in and kill her straight away. What was that? In like one of the most
Interesting.
notable appearances, because nobody's watching What If. Sorry if you didn't know that already.
Mhm. And then people who watched Multiverse of Madness will be confused. They'll be like, "What the? You got like
I could do
chopped
this
in
all
half." It's
day,
like, no,
dies. Why did you?
There's a lot of Captain Carters. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We're
we
all
got
over the
plenty
place.
more on a production line.
There are more
Scattered across
Captain
the
Carters than there
multiverse.
are Captain Americas.
So
Where-
Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, where's he?
That's an interesting one. You figure that they would have gotten him.
Especially
That's
the
actually,
concept
I
image,
hadn't even
right?
thought. I will say I hadn't thought of that, which says a lot about the state of Hulk at this
Oh
point.
yeah, Hulk's been fucking annihilated
Yeah.
to the point of you don't even want him. You're like, go away.
He's
Yeah,
been
what is
ruined.
Hulk? I don't know. I feel for because in a similar way you have Thor, which is like what have they done to you, my beautiful boy? They're
Mhm.
confused, but I really want to see Thor again. I want them to fix Thor. Thor deserves better. But on the inverse, I do not really care about Hulk at this point because he's been
But I-
juggled around so much. I have no clue what they even want to do with him.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that Mark Ruffalo doesn't particularly care either, which is pretty annoying when
Yeah.
like Bruce Banner is like just pretty fucking potent as a character. I mean, Hulk is one of the most popular Marvel characters for a reason. And
He did say,
I don't know, like
in an interview last year, I think it was, when he was discussing like his future ongoing role in the Avengers, and like he did sound like he wanted to do things with the character, and like the premise of the question was that you'll never get your own movie, obviously for rights reasons, but he said, I talked to Kevin Feige a lot, and Kevin Feige said, well, tell me what you would want from your own solo movie, and we'll just do it over the course of like 4 or 5 other people's movies. And like, so he was still sort of involved, and he had opinions on where the character should go, and he wanted him to become like a more well-adjusted member of the team, which kind of defeats, I think, the object of having the Hulk in there to begin with. Because like the problem is, once you go for the sort of cuck Professor Hulk route, you've lost anything even remotely interesting about what that character is. So what do you do from that point? Unless you can find
You
a way
have
to
to
make him,
reverse it.
yeah, you have to reverse it, or like force him back to a position where he can lose control, because that's the thing that really sort of keeps you on edge with him. But making him just like this generic stoner dude is boring as fuck.
Professor Hulk is just a bad idea, plain and
Yeah.
simple. The whole point of the
So was
character
Fat
is the
Thor.
duality of like the soft-spoken scientist turning into like an unstoppable rage monster, and that it's always
Yeah, the
like teetering
uneasiness.
on the edge, that if he gets sufficiently angry, which could happen under a variety of different circumstances, that everything could go to shit, and that he would have to grapple with the consequences of that, because even though Hulk could be considered and effectively is like a different person, that it's still connected to him, but instead they've decided that they're going to kill Hulk, just make it, oh yeah, dab, and like, oh, that was pretty fucking funny. That was worth just blowing up the character, wasn't it, for a joke?
I mean, that whole approach, you just wonder how it passed through so many fucking people in the creative side with OKs. Same for Fat Thor.
Well, this was the same. The Cheese Whiz. That was a
Yeah.
really good joke, and they were like, "Well, we lose Cheese Whiz, and we don't have Fat
You know,
Hulks, Fat
without
Thor."
without looking through every single joke
That Hulk
ever,
is in the cards, so don't write it off.
without looking through every joke in the entire MCU to choose like that way, that would be my go-to for the worst joke ever told in the MCU, the Cheese Whiz one. What a fuck up. And you know that's like the peak, or the maybe just the zenith, right, of that problem of them not being able to understand why they shouldn't do things that way. But I was going to bring up that even Taika Waititi, who made one of the worst films that exists, undid his fatness in the first like 5 minutes. Because it was just a horrible idea.
Maybe we shouldn't make Thor a fat loser.
I guess no Elizabeth Olsen. I know Scarlet Witch is dead, but like that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on there. Broadly, this to me just comes across as like the ultimate sort of like we were always heading here. This blender of culture. We were already doing it with Fortnite, Funko Pops. This is basically the movie equivalent of it. Just throw it all in, splattered onto the screen. Deadpool and Wolverine did this. And a lot of people are going to say, oh no, they did it well then, and they're doing it badly now. It's like, no. They did it badly, really badly in Deadpool Wolverine, actually. Which was a bad learned lesson from, as far as I'm concerned, No Way Home, which is the only one that managed to actually respect the legacy characters it dragged in from different universes. In a way that I don't think you'll ever see ever again in the MCU. It was actually kind of surprising.
No, you never will.
I think I mentioned this on Real BBC, but to take Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, make them essentially like the good path and the bad path that Tom Holland Spider-Man could take, and that both of them can offer him help and support while simultaneously like coming through on the characters that they are in this universe, and giving Andrew Garfield the saving the girl moment, like all of that in concept is just like those are good ideas, and then they executed them really well for those guys specifically. Obviously, Doctor Strange was sacrificed, as we know.
Yeah, he was, but it's okay. He was about to be sacrificed in his own movie.
It's okay because he was getting a shit on over and over again anyway.
They just moved it up a movie in scheduling.
It's like oh, well, they could do that again. It's like not with this many fucking characters, you can't. It's actually impossible, I think.
It would be a very difficult thing for a very talented writer to do.
It's like, let's give Cyclops a meaningful arc, which, by the way, you might give it to one of them, but I was just going to say, like, he's like, whatever you need to do to figure that out, he gets, like, 3 minutes of screen time, okay? So good luck.
Well, and also his wife isn't in the movie, so... so what's he meant to do?
Well, and you have to like give a serious analysis of his time from the universe you're pulling him from. What does it mean as a story, and where can you take it with the limited time you have left of him? That's what they did in No Way Home. You're not going to be able to do that with these guys.
Kind of funny because it looms over it. How are you going to connect that to Doctor Doom? How the fuck
that's completely true. I have a feeling they might do. Do you remember any of you see Into Darkness, Star Trek?
No.
The one where Benedict Cumberbatch is Khan.
Yes.
No, I have not seen
I haven't seen it.
Rags, we should watch that just to cry. So there's a scene
where
they've met new Khan, and of course, old generation Spock is in this universe, and he tells them, like, he's a time traveler, Nimoy, yeah. And he's like, I can't tell you anything. That would change. He's like, I can't tell you anything that would change the course of history because it would fuck everything up. However, Khan is a real bad guy. You don't trust him. It's just like, wait, what? And it's supposed to be like an epic scene. And basically, the reason I bring this up is I wonder if they'll be like, oh my god, here comes Doctor Doom. And then Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen will be like, we fought Doom in our universe. He burnt it to a cinder. You must be careful. He's gonna get you. He's bad news, that one. You gotta look out. And you're like, oh, if they said it,
This feels like another reminder of... So in Infinity War, it's like, okay, how do we establish pretty quickly that Thanos is the most serious threat that they've faced? Well, he's already got one Infinity Stone. That's kind of serious.
Well, before you go on, that one Infinity Stone means he took out the Nova Corps, right? That's what it would represent.
We saw what the Nova Corps was in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a pretty powerful force. And then he beats Hulk in a fight, which is like, oh shit. Hulk was the formerly unbeatable guy, and he beat him. And
wasn't that the argument between through Ragnarok, which immediately leads into it, is kind of that they're ribbing each other about which of the two of them is the strongest Avenger, Thor or the Hulk. And then at the opening of Infinity War, both of them have been beaten by Thanos. It's like whichever one your favorite is, they're fucked.
And then he gets the Space Stone, which is like, okay, now we've got 2. We've never seen anybody with 2. So that automatically, ignoring everything, means he's the most powerful person. And then he kills Loki after in Heimdall. And, he's wiped out a lot of the Asgardians. It's like, ooh, shit. All right, he's a big deal.
Yeah, well, that's just that's just a plan right there. It's like, oh, I get what they're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. Then it's good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They just sat down and wrote down a story.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
And it was a good one.
That's the reality. If you got Doom and he's meant to be the bigger, even the bigger bad guy, a lot of these guys are going to go. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these guys are going to die.
I must highlight, someone in chat said, hot take, Wrath of Khan is both a vastly superior sequel and movie to Into Darkness. Does anyone in chat disagree with that statement?
Wait. He's saying that Wrath of Khan is better than Into Darkness?
Apparently, which is obviously, he said hot take.
Oh wow, that's a
Very
scorching
spicy
hot take, my dude. I don't know if you should maybe keep that one to yourself. That's kind of wild and unhinged. I don't think you'll find anyone who agrees that Wrath of Khan is better than Into Darkness.
It's like famously one of the greatest sci-fis ever made versus Slop that nearly killed the franchise. It's a toss-up in some ways, I'd say. But this is what we're dealing with, which was kind of expected. It's just funny to start getting it confirmed, I suppose. And it's still funny to know just how many people have not yet been confirmed and to try and envision what the fuck kind of story they're going to write. Because genuinely, if you were tasked, you were given $10 million to write this, where are you starting with this? What's going to happen in this story broadly?
And it has to have all of these characters in it?
At least. This could be a third of the cast, like I said.
You know what I'd be tempted to do? I'd be tempted to have, like, the first 2/3 just be a film about Doctor Doom with nobody else in it.
And then they'll just fucking pour out of a hose, like water.
Yeah, pretty much.
All these characters. They all just go, hi.
Yeah, the idea would be that at least you've at least got like a coherent story. I mean, as best that you can make with him, without, because I don't even know. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, divorcing.
Did you ever play Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
No, I have not played it.
There is a sequence, so the whole game, you like, per chapter, you're defeating a relatively big bad of Marvel, but that Doctor Doom is the ultimate bad guy. And there's this cutscene, I would play it right now, but I'm not going to, where it shows him having killed basically like a whole bunch of famous heroes, and he realizes he can like reanimate them into zombified, horrifying versions of themselves, and then you end up fighting them in the game. I was thinking you could probably do that. That's their cameo. They're just fucking dead, and he brings having been defeated by him. It did have good cutscenes, true, chat. It was a bitchin' game.
Other thing is, like, you could use Loki as like a capture the flag ambition, so that you've got all these different characters, or these teams of characters who begin in their own universes, and somehow, reasons, everyone becomes aware that Doctor Doom is going after the person who is holding all of time together, because he wants to either control or destroy the universe, and they have to try and get to Loki before Doctor Doom gets to Loki, so he can do what he wants with all of time. And then they fail, and most of them die. And then we can have a complete reset and start again with no multiverse at all.
I almost, because I hate it so much, I almost wanted this first scene to be Loki in that stupid throne, and then he grabs it, like Doctor Doom grabs him by his cape and just like drags him down little steps.
And then he does some close quarters combat and just beats him up.
Punches him till his face is mush. He's like this dumb, stupid chair. Like, what is this?
That'd be pretty funny, yeah.
Destroys the chair, just breaks it all, tear it down.
And then Loki's like, how is this
not even
possible?
gonna build something, just gonna see what happens.
How
Loki, explain to me in the audience how any of this works.
Yeah, like literally, like as if you have any idea. Nobody knows. Nothing but potential is what you guys are saying, right? That there's just infinite stories popping off all over the place with these wonderful characters, all their histories.
Yeah, sure.
That's correct.
Won't have to wait too much longer before...
No, because this film is coming out
this
in,
cultural dud. Which will, like I said, I'm more than happy to say it's going to make a shit ton of money. It's just that I wonder how well the second one will do, and then after that, what's the health of Marvel going to even be? Because this will be embarrassing for sure.
I feel like, yeah, it's going to be bad, and I think everybody's kind of ready to shit on it at this point.
What the? Can you imagine? You know when the Guardians are introduced in Infinity War, and it's like hype as shit back then when people cared about everything. When it's like it cuts to the Thunderbolts in this movie, and it's like here they come. It's just like, oh,
Oh,
Where is
okay.
where's Rocket? Where's Rocket in the new?
He's being a
Guardians?
guardian. They're done.
they're done.
They're done. Until that's like second wave desperation. Because I'm at
for
this
everyone
point, I
you
just don't
add,
think they'll.
like this is already an insane cast.
Yeah, it is insane. It's nonsense. But they're just right now. They're not trying to create like plans for the future so much as oh god, we just need a hit.
Yeah. Time to use
Next
the Avengers
movie,
name.
fuck it. That's a problem for future us, and fuck those guys. What has future us ever done for me? Nothing. When they get really desperate, they'll bring back Rocket and Clagger, right? And Cosmo and
Rufus.
whoever else like that, Roofies or whoever you said, and that they'll bring back that team. That's Desperation Team Mark II, and then they'll have another movie, or they'll try and make another Guardians movie with the new ones.
I
And
do
everyone's like,
actually
hey,
want
Rocket Raccoon's back.
like Mr. Bean and people like that to show up, just because we're that far along
Mr. Bean
now.
as Zazu. He comes back. though.
I mean, Mufasa shows up as well. He's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm alive. I made it.
I thought you were
The
dead.
series
I
is
was.
a circle of life.
I was."
I was.
Wasn't
yeah.
that
It'd
like
be
a,
funnier if we said it that way.
there was a joke,
sound
wasn't
like
there, in
Darth
like a
Vader.
Parks and Recreation episode where like one of them is it Patton Oswalt's character is like he's filibustering like a story for how eventually the MCU will cross over into the Star Wars universe, which will cross over into every other universe, and like Chewbacca will fight Boba Fett, and Boba Fett will fight fucking Captain America, and everyone will really, really love it, and it's quite clearly supposed to be just funny and ridiculous. And actually, like the more time goes on, the more it becomes plausible that something that desperate would eventually happen.
We're getting it. It's gonna be so exciting. Who knows what's gonna happen?
And I guess meanwhile, what's DC gonna be doing? Supergirl.
Fight over Batman, literally like grabbing both of his arms and pulling him in both directions.
And he's like, "Let go, you're hurt." And then it turns into like the noob Cybot fatality.
Yeah.
It's getting ripped in half.
You know, because we had made the comment once upon a time about Star Wars being it's like, how can you have a hundreds of millions of dollars slap fight between two directors? It's fucking childish and pathetic and insane. And then it's like, oh, it's happening everywhere, basically. At all the heights of these products getting sludged out is that there's these really pathetic and petty fights about how to make everything work.
But nobody has
don't
any
have to
idea
grow
what
up.
the fuck they're doing. Like, that's the thing that's fascinating. They all make a lot of money, but like they don't know anything about storytelling.
No. This
Like,
is such a sad end point to what the MCU was as a promise when it started to now. You know, because like the idea of we got a wacky idea, we're gonna bring in a whole bunch of people, but the work is gonna be done to like, you know, create cause and effect, to build up characters you care about, and it's just like no, fuck that. Like we don't need to be doing that. People recognize.
But I mean,
them, okay.
doesn't this send like I don't know, I feel like the fact that you can just look at this cast, doesn't it send like the clearest signal that there's really no reason entering into this film and potentially forever to ever expect that any of the films preceding the Avengers film will like mean anything for you remember how there was that post-credit scene in Shang-Chi that was all about his rings and, you know, all as like cosmic energy or whatever, and it's meant to be the same thing as the bangles that Miss Marvel had. And now it's like, well, that's a dead end, is what that is. That's going to be a dead end.
Oh,
Same
right.
with the Council of Kangs.
Yeah.
That's a dead end.
Can't they just recontextualize it as it summons Doom or some shit?
I guess they could, but like that would be pretty. I was about to say that'd be silly, but that's why that matter.
They are experts in silly.
But I think it's more likely they'll forget that because I don't know. Have the Russo brothers actually watched everything? Are they as crazy as us? watching every single project and like trying to actually remember what happened in them. I doubt it.